today is a slightly different kind of video. Again, I'm whispering, I'm sorry because Bubby's having his nap and if I talk too loudly I'm going to wake him up. But today I thought I would do more of a casual video and I wanted to show you my makeup collection. I did actually have a decluttering video going through this and decluttering, but somehow I've managed to lose half the footage. So this is the final set of makeup and I guess kind of second run through now that I've had a bit of time to think about everything. There were a few products that I wasn't entirely sure about last time, so now I'm going to go through it a second time. I doubt I'm really going to be decluttering anything, but also just to kind of show you what I have. And yeah, I guess it's kind of a what's in my makeup bag slash second declutter video. I don't think I'm going to get rid of much, but we will see. Anyway, I have two bags. I have this one, which is for all the actual makeup apart from the eyeshadows, and then this one, which is for brushes. I originally bought this at, I think it was IMAT's LA, and I bought this one with the intention of travelling a lot more. Unfortunately, I haven't really been travelling much, and I don't intend to travel very much because I can't. I've got to stay at home. I've got to get my health back on track, so I very much doubt I'll be travelling as much as I would have liked to. So what I'm probably going to do, because I have a few siblings who do travel a lot, I'm going to see if they want this, because it doesn't need to be in this case. And I think I mentioned this in my jewellery decluttering video. I've got this lovely chest of drawers. It's very, very pretty, but it's too big for what we need. So I wanted to get a smaller set of drawers, and the idea is that these set of drawers will fit things like t-shirts, jumpers, jewellery, and makeup, so everything will be in there. There won't be any cases like this. So I'm thinking of decluttering these two cases as well eventually, but I need to wait till I get those chest of drawers and make sure that that's actually what I want to do. But anyway, I have two cases, this one for the makeup. I guess I'll go through this one first. There's a few things which aren't going to be a surprise to anyone. So I've got some Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, definitely going to keep that. I've got some Everyday Minerals green mint powder, and this one, although I don't often use it, I think I'm going to finish it, and then once I've finished it I'm just going to stop using it, just because I don't find that I need it that often, but it is, I think I'll be able to use it enough to use it up within a year. So I'm going to keep this, and then once I've used it up I'm not going to get a replacement. These I really, really like, and these are small, they kind of look like dough clippers, but these are small outer lashes eyelash curlers, because you know there's those tiny little lashes that you sometimes get on the very corner of your eye, and it's really hard to get them with the normal lash curlers. So I have a normal pair of lash curlers, and these are from e.l.f. and they're fantastic. I bought these these were given to me 7 years ago in a kit, and I've never replaced them because they're fantastic and I really, really like them. But even this one can't get those little pesky lashes on the outer corner of the eye. So for that I have this little thing, and you just manually clip the lashes on the very outer corner. And it's quite funny if someone's watching you do this, because they think you're using a toenail clipper to cut off your eyelashes and it freaks everyone out. But this is an eyelash colour and I really like it and I'm keeping it. The next one is a Milani colour. I love this colour. It's number 12 and I think the colour is Bordeaux. It's a lovely wine red, as you would expect with a name like this. Often used and I love it. This one was actually given to me. It's a MAC colour. I think it's just a pure black eyeliner, but I don't like this colour very much. I find that it bleeds like crazy. As it is, one of my sisters likes that look, so I'm going to sharpen the end to get rid of anything that I might have used myself and then give her this. I don't want it. Then I have some Klairs BB cream. I actually have two of these because when I use these, I use them in style and I go through it very, very quickly. So these I have two of, though at some point I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to replace them with a powder or just something that doesn't come in a plastic tube. Whether that's going to be possible or not is an entirely different matter, but that's the plan. Finish these up and then try and find a non-plastic alternative. This is a Besame mascara, and this one's interesting because it's a cake mascara. I do hate the brush that comes with this. It just falls everywhere and I never use it anyway. I've got one of those disposable spoolies and it's a water activated mascara. I use it a lot. It's not the best mascara in terms of giving you loads of extra length or anything like that, but it just blackens the very end of those lashes, you know, which tend to be a bit blonde and you can't really see. Not the best mascara, but it's not the worst either, and I like that it comes in a cake format. Not format, cake form. And I like it, and once I've used it up, I'm probably going to move over to their large new mascara, which I really like the look of, which comes in a metal tin, but they didn't have that at the time, so I bought this. This one is an Essence lip liner, and I really like this. I really wish more people talked about this brand. It's a really affordable brand, and it does beautiful colours, and as far as I'm aware, I highly doubt this would have ended up in my makeup kit if it wasn't the case. They're cruelty-free, they're affordable, and this one's in the colour Satin Mauve, or Mauve, I don't know, different people seem to pronounce that different ways. And I like this one because it's a slightly darker colour than my own lip colour, so it's nice if I want to do something that's very natural and barely there, but still maybe make my lips look a tiny bit bigger than they actually are. This is also another Milani colour, and this is in the colour All Natural. This one's a slightly browner version of this. I like this one if I'm going for more of a nude look, but you know that nude which is more of a tanned nude colour, and then this one is a nice nude if I'm going for more of that nude pinky look. So between the two of these, I really like them. They're a little bit similar, but for me there's enough of a difference in between the colours for me to like having one of each, so I like these colours. This is a Barry M1, and this is a colour that I'm always going to love. It's a dark plum purple, and I think the colour is just called number 11. And oh, this is the kind of colour that I go for when I just want drama. I will show you the colours. So this is the Barry M plum colour, and it's this dark plum purple. It's just pure drama. I love this colour. Then this is the Milani colour, and I think this one is All Natural, and you can see that's what it looks like. And I quite like the formulation of these. It's very creamy and soft. The Barry M one isn't quite so creamy, but I don't think I'd want it with a colour that's that dark, because if it's too creamy and it starts to bleed everywhere and you're wearing a very dark colour, it can make you look interesting. So I prefer the softer formulations to be more of a natural colour, and then the darker ones to be less of a softer formulation. And this is the Essence colour. So you can see it's got more of a pinky tone to it. This is a, Paris Berlin colour, and it's a completely cream colour. I don't know how well it's going to show up on my skin because it's pretty darn close to my own skin tone. But I like using this one as a mixture of things. I'll either use it on the waterline if I'm feeling very tired and my waterline's quite red and irritated, or not irritated but looks quite red. I wouldn't put any makeup on if my eyes were irritated. But I also like using this one as a spot concealer. And I do tend to sharpen this like I sharpen my art pencils, with a really long nib, and then that way I can be very accurate, and if I see a tiny little spot I can just go in, dab over it and then blend it out. So this doubles up as an eyeliner and a concealer. This is actually the second one that I've gone through, but it doesn't look like I've gone through much because these pencils are really, really long, but I do actually use this. This is a colour by Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics, which unfortunately I don't think exists anymore. They just disappeared off the face of the earth a few years ago. And this is a completely transparent liner, but what it does is you put it outside your lip line so that if you do have a colour which has a tendency to bleed, it stops it from doing that. So this is the pen that I'll use on a night out if I want that lipstick colour to stay perfect and look good, and I don't want to have to touch it up every kind of 2 hours or so. Don't use it often, but when I do use it, it's a lifesaver, and you can't get it anymore, so there's no way I'm getting rid of this one. This is just a lip balm. It's actually the second one that I've gone through from this company. I have one downstairs in the first aid cabinet and then one for myself just because I really like it. And it's got, let's see, almond oil, beeswax, honey, oat oil, vitamin E, and essential oil of tangerine. And it's such a lovely, lovely lip balm. What I really like is that when I've finished, I've got a really cute little pot that I can make my own DIY skincare with, so I really, really like this one. This is a bit interesting. This used to be a powder that I had, and then I spilled it everywhere because the pot broke. So I mixed it in and made it into a cake format, which is actually quite useful. I mean, I don't know how well you can tell, but this is basically just a powder cake, which meant I could compress quite a lot of powder into a very, very small pot. And I mean, the pot that I used to have was about this big. It was Lily Lolo colour. But once I've used this up, I think what I want to try and do is just get those refillable sachets, because I don't need the great big plastic pot. It's going to take me a while to fill this up because this is a deceptively large amount of product. And I really like it in this format because it's not one of those things where you open up the lid and just powder everywhere. I do prefer it like that. This is actually a colour which expired a long time ago, and it used to be a cream cheek tint, but this has expired quite a while ago, even though I depotted it. And it is quite a nice colour. I mean, I'll show you what it looks like here. And it's a very soft wash of pink, but it has expired. So I'm just going to take that product out of the tin and then reuse the tin for something else, because it's a good little tin, but the product's expired and I'm not putting that on my face. Sometimes I'll push the expiry date. If it's things like a powder where it's just a powder, that's fine. But when it comes to things which are liquidy, I don't really like pushing the expiration date. This is another product that I depotted. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but this is one of those old Barry M Dazzle Dusts. And I really like putting this on top of eyeshadows that I own if I just want that lovely, beautiful shimmer on top of something. It's such a nice thing to put over a black eyeshadow. And it just makes an otherwise very simple look just have that little bit of extra sparkle that I like. This is a depotted BB cream, and it's what's left of a more high coverage BB cream. I do like the Claire's BB creams, but they're very light coverage, and you can layer it up, but you can't layer it up to the point you would need to if you have quite a persistent zit. You know, one of those zits that's a really, really red and angry and they just will not go away. That's what I use this one for. I can't remember what brand it was, but to be honest, I don't get that many zits now, and when I do, I don't care enough to want to cover them up. So I mainly use this on special occasions, and once I've run out, I don't think I'm going to get a replacement, just because this thing will normally do the trick. So I don't think I really have any need to get a replacement for this, so once I've run out, that's probably going to be it. Then I have one of those, you know, those clip-on caps that have the sharpener built in. I have one of those in here because for some reason I'm always losing my eyeliner sharpener, so I keep one of these in here. This is also a colour that I was given, and it was actually a MAC gel eyeliner. And normally I've avoided MAC for years just because I think at the time their cruelty-free status was pretty ambiguous. And I do actually quite like this eyeliner, but what I especially like is the lovely glass pot that it comes in. So my plan is to use up this gel eyeliner, and then I have a lovely little glass pot that I can use to make some of my homemade foundation, because once I've used up the Claire's BB cream and then the powder that I showed you in here, my plan is to make my own from one of those refillable sachets that you can get, so that you don't have to get a massive plastic container. And I want to make my own BB cream with oils that I know that I like on my face. And that's the plan anyway. So the plan is to use this up, then I have a lovely little pot, and then I'll have quite a lot less stuff in my kits, and it will all just fit into here, and hopefully my skin will be happier for it. So that's the plan. Now we are about to move on to my pride and joy. These are the 3 lipsticks that I own. 3 of them are from Besame, and these are retro style lipsticks. And sorry, I'm whispering because I just heard Bubby make a noise, and I'm praying he's not going to wake up. But this one is from a new brand that I found recently called Fatale Cosmetics, and I'm going to swatch all of these one by one on my hand just to show you what they look like. So the first colour from Besame Cosmetics is Dusty Rose, and this one I like if I want something which is more natural coloured. I can layer it up and make it quite subtle, and not quite so much like a dusty rose. But if I want something which is during the daytime and a little bit more natural, this is the colour that I go for. Then if I'm going for a bit more drama. And sometimes I'll pair this up with the Barry M colour that I showed you, that dark purple, and it's a beautiful combination. This one is kind of a true dark red. You know, when you think of that traditional retro colour, that's this colour. And this is my newest acquisition. And I know this probably looks quite similar to this colour, but it's got more of a purple pink undertone, and I'm going to swatch it quite heavily so that hopefully you can see it. And you know what, looking in the viewfinder right here, I can tell that there isn't much of a difference on camera, but in real life there is a difference. This one's more red and this one's got more purpley pink undertones. Though to be fair, I do prefer the formulation of the Vital Cosmetics. The Besame colours are nice, but they've got a bit of a heavy, slightly chalky feel, and I know that's really underselling them. They don't feel hugely chalky, but they do have a slightly cakey feel on the lips. This one, I like that I can layer it up very, very easily, and it's very, very moisturising. Not so much the case with the Besame colours. I wouldn't describe them as moisturising at all, but these are 3 colours that I have which I adore and absolutely love them. I'm actually really looking forward to having that little drawer that I mentioned, so I can have all my makeup out on display so that when you open it up, it's all just laid out there. You can see what you have, and especially with the packaging like this, it's just so beautiful. I love it when they have proper metal lipstick bullets. It just feels nice to hold. And yeah, I like these. Next up, I've got this case. And at the very top, normally what you would do is you would have an eyeshadow palette, one of those ones with magnetic backing so you can put all the different colours. But for the moment it's not in here. It would normally clip on right onto this part, but I like having it in with all the other brushes, so I actually keep everything in this part of the bag. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like, and these are the colours that I have. Actually, these 2 colours I do need to chuck because they are expired, and even though normally I'm quite lenient with expiration dates when it comes to powder stuff, I noticed that my eyes aren't happy when I use these 2 colours, so these 2 have got to go. And these are the colours that I use regularly and that I love. And what I'm thinking of doing in some of the future makeup tutorials that I want to do on this channel, which will be makeup tutorials for me, it's not going to be things like Scary Clown and Ripped Up Nail. This is the kind of stuff that I want to wear for myself. And these are the colours that I often use. I've got these which are from a depotted Illamasqua palette. So you've got a very, very, I would say, a creamier version of Chinese white. And if any of you have seen the paint section in any paint shop, you'll always get that titanium white, and then you get Chinese white, which is I don't want to say darker, because when you say darker white, people think grey, and it's still a white, but it's white with more of a cream paper undertone. And it's really nice because it doesn't look quite so harsh. It's a really nice highlighter colour. So there's that colour, then there's a gold, there's a dark brown, and then a pure, beautiful black eyeliner. I don't think, not eyeliner, eyeshadow. For me, at least, any kind of black eyeshadow is absolutely essential. I could do 120 looks just with black eyeshadow. I don't think I would be so creatively inspired with other colours. This one is a colour which, as you can see, I've hit pan on. And this is an NYX colour. And this is NYX Taupe. And what I do when I depot mine is I always write the name on the back so that once I run out, I know exactly what it was. And this is a similar colour, but this one's got more of a grey undertone, which I know sounds odd. But on my skin tone, that works very well. This one's got more of a red undertone. And if it's in the middle of winter, that can look very red on me. If it's caught me in the middle of summer and I've got a bit of a tan, then I can get away with this colour. But otherwise, no. So this is the kind of colour that I normally go for. And this one, I like it as an in-between shade. For this one, if I'm doing an eyeshadow look and I'm trying to blend it out, this one's a nice edge shade just to buff everything out. And this colour, which probably looks a little bit odd, this is actually a highlighter palette, but I use this for eyeshadow a lot because you can do things like have a simple winged black eyeliner look, but then you can have a little bit of that gold highlighter in the inner corner, a little bit of that pink on the middle of the lid, a little bit of purple on the outer lid, and then some of the green underneath the lash line. And it's a small, subtle little thing that you do to your makeup, but I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And this is one of the reasons why I'm quite looking forward to hopefully doing makeup tutorials on this channel, because I'd really like to show what you can do with just this. You know, it's not a huge amount of colours. I think most palettes will come with more eyeshadows than what I've got here, but there is so much you can do with just these colours, and especially once you add something like this little highlighter disc onto it, it gives you a chance to do little tweaks to your makeup, which are small, subtle, but quite visually striking. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. That all goes in this palette, and then we get to my beautiful, beautiful brushes. Most of these are Eyeshadow, and I kind of blame Mischievous for this because I won most of these on a competition that Mischievous did years and years ago for some Eyeshadow brushes, and I'd never heard of the brand before. And I think I came second place in that competition, and ever since then I've been obsessed because they are the best made makeup brushes I have ever used. I don't like makeup brushes that have massively long handles just because they get in the way. I don't need it to be long, I need it to just go over my thumb bone so that I can hold it comfortably. And just the brushes are so soft. There isn't a single bit of plastic in the whole thing. And I love that. So ever since I won that competition, I slowly collected an extra brush a year. Every time I went to IMATS, I'd get 1 or 2 brushes, and I'd never get more than that because I wanted to make sure that the brushes that I did get, I was going to really use, I really loved, and also they're expensive, so I didn't really want to get more than 2 brushes and be in debt for the rest of my life. So I will show you the brushes I have. I have this small angled eyeliner. And this isn't the one that I'll normally use for eyeshadow. It's not quite precise. I like this if I'm just putting down a bit of a base colour, and then if I'm neatening up the edges I'll use a different colour, but this is just a small angled eyeliner. Then I've got a powder brush, and this one's just a nice large powder brush. And I'm not even joking when I say that using this brush is like a cloud on your face. It is so soft. Then we've got this brush, and I think this one is, I don't know if this is the name of the brushes, but this one's BJ214. I like this one as kind of a concealer brush. It's not very good for spot concealer, so if you've got a tiny little area that you need to cover up, it's not going to do the trick. But I like this for areas like around the nose, around the eyes, and again, so soft. I bought this years ago for a traditional Japanese geisha look that I wanted to do, because at the time when I did the makeup look, I wanted to try and make sure that I wanted to understand what the symbolism behind the makeup was. So what I did is I went and bought a book all about geishas, about the history of it, what the makeup meant, so that I could do a look which was as accurate as possible. And in this book they showed the kind of makeup brushes which they would have used traditionally for geisha makeup, and obviously it looked nothing like any of the brushes that I had. And I thought, if I'm going to be doing a traditional geisha makeup look, I don't want to take brushes, not take brushes, wrong word. I don't want to use brushes which are going to take people out of the look. I want this to try and look as much as possible like it is the tools that would have been used or are used. So I bought this traditional Japanese makeup brush, and ever since then I've used it in my normal makeup kit because it is the most amazing thing for contour. What I like is it has just the right amount of bounce. You can always tell when a makeup brush is good if you hold it above your hand and there's a bounce. If it just kind of goes and just splays out like a dodgy broom, that's a bad makeup brush. It doesn't have the firmness that the bristles are going to need in order to last a long time. But if it can bounce off your hand easily, it's got the right kind of firmness to last a long time and to buff your makeup into your skin. And I love this brush. It's so good as a contouring brush. Sometimes I'll use it as a blush brush, but because it's so really precise, I like using this one as a contouring brush. And to be perfectly honest, sometimes I'll just brush this over my face because it's so soft. It's really relaxing. I have 2 other spoolies here. Actually no, I have 3, and these are the disposable kind. But what I do is I just wash them again and again, because as you've seen previously, I've got that cake mascara, and I will use these for mascara and then just wash them after I'm done with them. And then if I'm a bit concerned that it's like, oh, maybe I've washed them one too many times, I will just boil them just in case there's anything on them, and then I'll keep using them. They're made of plastic, they are never going to degrade. I don't see the point in chucking them out. I'm using them on me, so I'll just clean them and then use them again. I also have a small cotton bud, which normally I'll use to clean up any kind of makeup that I have, and I also really like having a cotton bud in my makeup kit, just because it's very, very good for blending out small edges. And most of the time I'll use my brushes, but if I'm in a hurry, sometimes I will just use this, so I always have a cotton bud in here as well. These are two brushes that were given to me, and these ones are actually MAC brushes. Like I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of MAC, and at the time what I did is I just cover up the names with nail varnish because I didn't like the brand. I don't like the brand very much, and I didn't want the name to feature in a video and then kind of accidentally promote them. While I like the brushes, I think there are a lot of other brands which are much more affordable and offer the same quality, so I didn't really want to advertise MAC, because especially at the time that I was doing these videos, there was very much a culture of MAC is the only thing, and if you don't use MAC makeup, then the makeup's going to come out looking like crap. And that was something that very much annoyed me, because it wasn't the case. You should be able to use the cheapest makeup and still get a semi-good look come out of it if you're good at what you do. So that was kind of my rebellious stance. I do like these brushes. I didn't see the point in throwing them out. I like the brushes, they're useful. I'm not going to be throwing them away. I don't even know what brush numbers these are, because as you can see I've covered up the labels, but they're useful and I like having them in my own little makeup kit, so I keep these for myself. This one is a very small pencil blending brush. It's a bit of a pointed, tapered pencil blending brush, I would say. I very much like this one for going around the eyes, and I also like it going through the eyebrows as well, because it's very good for getting that soft, natural look if you don't want a very clearly defined eyebrow edge. Obviously this one's just for eyeshadow, sometimes I'll use it for my eyebrows as well. This is a black version of the white one that I have. This one's slightly more pointed than the other one, and to be perfectly honest, I probably don't need this one, but I like it and I do use it, so I keep it in my kit. Then we've got this one, and this is the one that I will normally use to apply eyeliner because the end gets crazy sharp and pointed. But I do have another one which is even more detailed than that, and that's this tiny, tiny, tiny C-shaped, I would say, I guess C-shaped brush. I guess it's an eyeliner brush. I use this one all the time, it's one of my favourite brushes. Then we've got the Eyeshadow lip brush, which I clearly need to clean. Then I've got a Eyeshadow blending brush. This one's a slightly longer one. It's much softer, and I like this one for going around the edges. You know, when you don't need to seriously buff it into the skin, but you just want to do light sweeps, that's what I use this brush for. And occasionally I will use this one for doing spot concealing as well. Then we have a small foundation brush, a small blush brush, and I would describe this one as a small, well not a small, but an angled foundation brush. And what I like about this one is that the very end has got kind of two layers. You've got a smaller, denser part at the very bottom, and then these longer parts at the very end, and it's really great for putting foundation on, stippling it on, and then having a finish which is very soft and natural looking, and this brush is fantastic for that. So this is all the makeup from my own personal makeup kit. I hope you liked the video. I know there wasn't really that much decluttering involved, but like I mentioned, I already did a declutter video a while ago and I just lost the footage, which is why that's not what you're seeing today. But this is my makeup kit. It's probably going to look quite different a year from now, and hopefully this is what I'm going to be using in any makeup videos that I do in the future.